Good afternoon. I'm John Hindle along with Paul Connon on noisy Guelph University. This is the and a trivia game between the top two teams in this division.
Yes, I think we're seeing strength against strength, John. In league play between these two teams, they each won a game, and the margin at the end of points was 1 point in Guelph's favor, and that's why we have the championship here at Guelph. I think the home court and the home fans may give Guelph an advantage, but working against them may be the fact they had a very tough game in their semifinal game against a strong, surprisingly strong team from the University of Western Ontario. That may have tired them out a little bit. Whereas the Lancers, they had a fairly easy game against McMaster in their semifinal game. The way the Lancers substitute, I don't think their players would be tired, whereas the Griffins may be feeling a little fatigued.
Let's talk about the players who will lead this team. As far as Windsor, they got a big fellow. Of course, and as far as Guelph is concerned, Tom Hessel, very small.
Yes, that's true. They've got, both teams really have big, strong men and big, strong, small men. And I think it'll be quite a contest underneath the basket. Floor leadership, I think Heslop will be very prominent. The Lancers play a different style of game. They run, and that should be evident. That's the style they like to play, and I'm sure they're going to try and establish it early. The Griffins a little more patterned offense, and so we have a contrast in styles, but it should be a good game for all the marble.
Well, it should. We'll be back with the tip-off in just a moment. Well, it's standing room only here at the University of Guelph between these two teams. This is probably the largest crowd to see a basketball game here in quite some time. It's a jam-packed couch. You couldn't find an empty seat anywhere. They're sitting on the floor. They're sitting everywhere. And they're here to see their Guelph Griffins possibly take this Western Division Championship and see if they can repeat 1973-74 when they won the CIAU Championship and go on and, of course, do the same thing this year.
That's right. The winning team gets a berth in the CIAU Championship, the University of Waterloo, and both of these teams feel they've got that shot at it. And of course they have the top two teams in the West Division of the OUAA meeting as it would seem fit here for the championship game.
And we're underway. Derek Lewis, number 12, knocked it out of bounds, they say, and it will be Windsor ball. And the man who will take it in, John Ritchie, number 44, passes to Brian Hogan, 32. Hogan, one of their little big men, as we talked about earlier. There's a lot of them in this league. Molyneux, 52, one of the big men, puts it in.
Oh, that was a nice shot. No hesitation. Good turnaround jump shot. Number 52, Jim Molyneux.
Of the starting five that Windsor has out there, Molyneux is a lone non-Windsor player. Jim Hill is originally from Toronto. Matter of fact, they only have two players in this Windsor team who are from outside the Windsor area. They are Brian Buttress from Regina and Molyneux, traveling.
Well, first turnover here in this game. Number 54, Rick Dundas, called for traveling.
Hogan brings it up court. Hogan driving right toward the basket. And right there to tip it in.
Pretty play. Hogan made that play. Drove all the way. They cleared a side for him. He caught them unawares. The tip in by Korostek.
4-0, 19-14. Time to go. We're just underway here. Mike Sisto very fast on his feet. Peter Smith going up.
Wow, drove from the outside. Nice basket on Carter Smith.
Now Ritchie brings it up court. Over to Hogan. Hogan calls signals. Passes to Ritchie. They pass it over a little bit. Hogan controls. Windsor a little more deliberate in their plays. Korosek falling away. And Sesto, here's a 2-on-1. Pass it to Heslop. To Sesto, off the rim.
Oh, nice basket. Nice teamwork there between Heslop and Sesto. Sesto comes up with the basket.
In my opinion, they're probably the best 1-2 combination when they get a break like that there is in the OUAA. They are very fast, and they know exactly where the other is going to be all the time. Tied at 4, 18-24, time to go. A long pass to Molyneux. Molyneux hits the rim, going up for the rebound. Dundas fires a long pass to Sesto, who has it. Sesto now will set things up a little bit. And I'll tell you, it's warm in this building, but I think a lot of that warmth is exuberated by the fans who are here. They're really excited for this one. Now Heslop passes it back to Smith. And there's a lot of Windsor fans here, too, I might add. Heslop.
Well, there you saw the man that's moved into first place on the scoring list here at the University of Guelph. Tom Heslop, the small guard, number 4, has moved ahead of Bob Sharp as the all-time Griffin scorer.
Heslop only 5'11" from Oakville. Now Ritchie passes over. Moving in, Hermanitz.
Well, he's been the leading scorer, and that's one of the reasons. Shaw, he wouldn't ordinarily think that a player would take a shot from there, but he twists, turns. He's got outstanding ability, and he won't hesitate to put the ball up.
Play 2.5 minutes, tied at 6. Peter Smith.
Beautiful hook shot there. Semi-hook shot on the part of Peter Smith. Nice basket.
And Hogan has it. Hogan, Molyneux, Hogan. Windsor trying to set up a play. Korosek moving in towards the basket. They call him for traveling.
That's right. It was good defense that forced him into that. He had nowhere to go. There's 3 men really around him. He tried to find that opening, lifted his pivot foot, and the turnover gives the ball to Guelph.
Heslop comes back. Tommy Heslop. Hogan runs over his man, going back to defend. That was Sesto. Now Heslop.
That's why he's the leading scorer. He can bomb them in from any distance at all. Give him a shot. He's got a good chance of putting it in.
10-6 the score. 4-point lead for Guelph. And we have a foul called.
They're hustling for position underneath. Picks up, rather gives the foul to number 52, Peter Smith. Peter Smith's going to have to see a lot of action around that area in which he is now. He's got to cover the big man, Korosek.
Dundas gets the rebound. Gets it up to Heslop. Heslop now gets it to Derek Lewis. Dundas. Dundas, one of those big ball players, 6'6". And he's big as far as weight as well. Derek Lewis.
Oh, good shooting percentage on the part of the Griffins here early in this game. Derek Lewis, nice jumper from 15 feet.
And Windsor decides to call a timeout. Very early on here. Guelph showing some great shooting from the outside, especially by Heslop.
Sure have. Excellent shooting so far in this game. And of course, the Lancers don't want to give them a chance to get that lead to where they've got to change their whole pattern of play. Lancers quick to take this time out now and try and talk things over, get back into their game plan, see what Guelph has been doing, try to shut that down. There you have a good look at the Lancer huddle. In the middle is Nick Grabowski, first year as head coach here at the University of Windsor, and he was prior to that an assistant coach to Dr. Paul Thomas. Paul Thomas is on sabbatical leave. Nick Grabowski moved into the head coach's job, and he's assisted by a former star player for the Lancers. You see him just to the left of your screen there, Vince Landry.
16:07, time to go in this first half of play. 12-6 to score with the home Guelph Griffins in front. Now Hogan dumps it off to Ritchie, right back to Hogan again. They put it inside. Korosek turns around, puts it in.
Oh, he's a hard man to stop in there. Second leading scorer, averages close to 20 points a game throughout the league play. And he's very strong physically. He's a big man, takes up a lot of room.
Korosek 6'7". Peter Smith, who also really tips it high, 6'8". Peter's number 52 with the ball, passes to Lewis. Lewis goes up.
Well, second good jump shot from outside. Looks to be very hot here in this game.
There's a beauty. Bonus.
Well, that's what we said at the start of the show. The Lancers will run. They come out of that timeout. And that's what they're doing, what they do best, the running game.
14-10 the score. 15-19 left to go in the first half. Guelph in front of Windsor. Now Lewis has it. Gets it over to Smith. Smith looking for an open man. Gets it to Lewis. Back inside to Smith, who's underneath the basket. Falls away. Puts it in.
Well, he's really coming out shooting, and he's very hot in his shooting. 6 points already for number 52, Peter Smith.
16-10 the score. 6-point lead for Guelph. Underneath Korosek. No place to put it. Goes up with it. Basket counts.
3-point play. Potential coming up here. You saw the big man, Stan Korosek, literally had 3 men checking him when he got that ball.
Call that foul on Dundas. Dundas, number 54, under the basket. That's the second foul of the game on Guelph. Windsor has yet to have a foul call on them. Korosek makes good.
Korosek coming through on his foul throws throughout the year. He's got a 74% average.
16-13. The difference is 3. Now Heslop. Ball signals. Heslop, their little quarterback. Boy, is he effective. Dundas underneath. Ball bounces around. Molyneux came up with it. Pass the Hermanitz. Off Hermanitz.
Well, Molyneux got it to him. Hermanitz was a little unsure whether that pass was going to come to him. Got it to him in a rather tight area and it went off his leg out of bounds.
Now Lewis puts it inbounds to Heslop. Back to Lewis. Peter Smith goes up.
Well, he continues to have that hot hand. 8 points here early in the first half of this championship game.
8 points in a little under 6 minutes to play for him. 18-13 the score. Both teams very hot. Lewis intercepts. He's got Sesto there. Just missed him.
Well, a little questioning of that call by the small man out there. Hogan, number 32, says he didn't touch that ball in the pass. Referee says he did. The ball stays with the Griffins.
Sesto inbounds it to Heslop. Tommy Heslop gets around the pick being set there by Dundas. Heslop fires. Korosek rebound. Foul call on Smith.
Going for that rebound. They're not going to give Korosek that ball without contesting it. Came from a long way away. That's number 2 on Peter Smith early in the going here. Griffins haven't got quite as deep a bench as the Lancers. That could be a factor in this game.
Hogan into the corner to Ritchie. They pass it inside. Jim Kennedy's there. Now Korosek.
Well, they moved the ball around. They hit the open man. Griffins made good defensive adjustments, but let Korosek open. He scored.
Kennedy, 6'5", just checked into the game. He's also from Windsor. Heslop can really move that ball around quickly. Smith loses control as he went up with it. 18-15 the score. 3 points the difference. 13-12 time to go first half. Hogan has it. Hogan sets it back to Kennedy. He puts it up.
Well, you see how the Lancers like to run. They move that ball so very well. They want to keep the pressure on the defense.
Making a 1-point difference now. 18-17. Peter Smith. And with a rebound is Hermanitz. Hermanitz very fast. They got a 4-on-1 here if they can make it count. Ritchie. Off back to cover now. And coming up the loose ball is Dundas. Foul called on Hogan.
Hogan going for that rebound. They've been a little frustrated as John called it. They had a 4-on-1 break. Got 2 shots, no points out of it, and lost the ball. They have a good look at coach of the Guelph Griffins, Gib Chapman, calling out defensive plays, or rather offensive plays. Here he wants some help to bring that ball up the floor.
Sesto back to Dundas. Now they feed it into the corner. With it there, Mark Scott. Mark, number 44, has just come into the game as well. 6'2".
Well, a defensive breakdown in that particular play. Left all alone, Derek Lewis. He scored.
And we've got a foul called. Bill Hermanitz, I think, is the call on this time. Hermanitz has the foul on him.
That's his first. Once again, they're going to contest that ball every chance they get.
20-17. The difference is 3. 12-14 time to go. Both teams very hot here in the early going into shooting. There's a long one.
Well, when you give them the openings, they're ready to score. Mark Scott comes in, scores his first shot.
Scott from Bramalea makes it 22-17. The difference now 5. Hermanitz back to Hogan. Hogan, Hermanitz from the corner, puts it up, puts it in.
Well, he's been their leading scorer. And as we mentioned, he can score from all over the court. Fast breaks, jump shots from the outside. He's a threat from all over.
22-19, fans settling down a little bit now. But I'm sure when another basket scored by their heroes, up and back on their feet again. Heslop driving in towards the basket. Passes to Sesto. Sesto hits the back of the rim. The loose ball is grabbed by Kennedy. Passes off here to Hogan. Hogan to Kennedy. Kennedy going up. Great block.
Oh, beautiful block on the part of number 12. Derek Lewis came from the top of the keyway to take away almost, I think you'd have to say, a sure basket. That man, number 12, Derek Lewis, way up above the rim, blocked the shot on the way up. Well,
Lewis turned his back there, as you see, as he waited to try and Blocked the defender, but what a great play he made. Hogan now controls. Lewis trying to intercept it. Hermanitz has it. Hermanitz hits.
Well, you see how fast he can capitalize. Lewis went for the steal, missed it. Hermanitz got inside him and scored.
22-21, 11 minutes, time to go. Now Heslop hits.
Well, let's bomb him in from all over. 6 points for Tom Heslop, all-time Griffin scorer and OUAA All-Star.
I don't think anybody in this team has missed yet, or so it seems. They've all been hitting bullseyes. 24-21, 10:38 time to go.
Tremendous defensive play. Another one. Mark Scott knocked that ball right out of the hand. Just left the hand of the Lancer. It was out of bounds at the end.
Ryan Buttry from Regina puts it into play. Buttry's coming to the game. Hogan has it there. Hogan looking for Buttry, and Scott was there to knock him out of bounds.
Well, that was a fight for position on the far side between Mark Scott and the defender. There you see him, Brian Buttry, and Buttry picks up or forces Scott into the foul.
Now Hogan, Hermanitz puts it up.
Oh, that's a tremendous touch shot because the defender was right there ready to reject that shot. Hermanitz just lofted it way up among the rafters, so to speak. It came down and in.
He had to put it over 6'6" Rick Dundas. 24-23. Difference is 1. Lewis sends it outside. Heslop from the corner. He hits the rim. Hits the backboard. Dundas waits for it to clear.
Oh, nice execution. That's how you like to see them score on the rebound. 54. Rick Dundas took his time, faked twice, got inside for an easy basket.
And Scott knocks it out of bounds on a defensive play. Butcher will put it in. Hits it into Hogan. Hogan, Hermanitz. Back to Hogan. Hermanitz trying to get away from Lewis.
Well, that man just has outstanding touch. Bill Hermanitz, number 20 for the Lancers. Dundas is meeting him face to face, and he's just outguessing Dundas and out-executing him on a shot versus Dundas' block.
Again, the difference 1, 26-25. Heslop, nice pass over to Dundas.
Well, that's once again, they're trading excellent plays at various ends of the court here, up and down, excellent plays, both ways.
Hogan trying to pass it inside of Korosek, missed it.
Trying for that alley-oop pass on the inside, wasn't able to connect with Korosek, a little too much on the pass.
Heslop brings it back, 9 minutes exactly, 28-25, first half of play. In what's been an extremely good basketball game so far. Lewis puts it up from the key.
Well, he's a hot man. 8 points for Derek Lewis. Playing a touchdown game on offense. Come up with a couple of exceptionally good plays of defense.
Hogan passes it over to Kennedy. Hogan with it here. Hermanitz. Back to Hogan. Feeds it outside to Buttry. Buttry inside Korosek. Korosek. Oh, they're all over him.
Well, Rick Dundas nods his head. He knows he picked up the foul.
With 8:25, time to go in this, the first half of play. The score was 12-30. And Windsor 25. .826 time remaining. It's 30-26 the score. Stan Korosek at the line. Guelph leading this game by 3 points now. 30-27. Windsor in blue. Guelph in their white uniforms with white numerals. Tom Heslop brought it up. And the referee is going to go over to the timer's bench for a second.
Don't know what happened on that particular play, John, but talking about something over there on the far side. I don't know whether it's the shot clock. It's not coming down because it's now standing at 30, and Murray Mulligan must have caught that on his way down the floor, but it had not had any elapsed time on it. So they're counting down now, 24 seconds. Did you see it? They have 24 seconds in which to get away a shot.
Now Mark Scott. 8:15 is the time remaining. The difference just 3 points. It's been pretty much this for this first half. A very close game. As both teams going up and down the court, putting them in with rather great ease, so it seems. Sesto has great speed. Gets it over. Scott
Well, tremendous performance by that man. Once again, Mark Scott coming in here. 2 shots, 2 good baskets from a good range.
Well, Lewis tried to grab that one again. 32-27, difference 5. Ritchie puts it inbounds. Gets it over to Mark Landry. His brother Vince is an assistant coach with this Windsor team. Molyneux over to Mark Landry. Mark, Ritchie hits the rim. Hermanitz there. No shot, foul called.
I believe Sesto picks up that foul on the far side. When Hermanitz got the ball before he could put it up for a shot, he was fouled.
That's his first of the game. And as far as Guelph is concerned, they've had 6 now. Hermanitz gets it back to Landry. Hermanitz, Landry. Landry puts it up. And Scott, great job to get that one. Offensive foul.
That's just another example of the all-round play of Phil Hermanitz. He drew that foul. He had himself set in position so that there you see Hermanitz. It's a tribute to him that the Lancers have the ball. He put himself where the Griffin player had to bang into him as soon as he got a hold of that ball, and that's what he did, and of course that's a foul.
There's one. Landry. Hermanitz right there to grab the rebound. Tries to put it up. Ritchie's underneath. And they gave him 3 shots.
That's right, and you can't afford to do that. That's where I would say the Lancers may have a bit of advantages in big men underneath the basket.
32-29, approaching the 7-minute mark remaining in this first half. 3-point lead. Guelph in front. Scott puts it up.
Wow, Mark Scott already had his average for league play, 6 points. And if he continues the way he's going, he's going to surpass that by quite an amount.
Could be a secret weapon that Gib Chapman keeps on the bench there that he's kept until this game. Who knows? Now Molyneux sends it inside. Ritchie has it go off his hand. Foul called.
Well, Ritchie's called going for that rebound. Rather, Molyneux picks up the foul. That's
difference 5.
Strictly a hustling for rebound position, and there'll be a lot of that go on.
Well, for the chance to make it 7 on this play. Heslop driving up. Takes Hermanitz with him into the corner. Now Sesto. Dundas. Dundas. Still with it. Over to Heslop. He gets down so low and he dribbles that ball. Lewis. Korosek with the rebound. Korosek to Hogan. Hogan dumps it off. Hermanitz. Windsor back with their starting 5 out there. There's a long shot.
Well, Brian Hogan scores his first basket of this game from outside. You see a contrast in defenses in this game, John. Windsor playing a man-to-man, a very loose man-to-man, a lot of sloughing off under there, whereas Guelph are playing a 2-3 zone.
That's what you call a nice passing play as Derek Lewis took that ball and just had to dump it in there.
That's right. Good moving of the ball by Heslop. He beat his man. Somebody had to move off to get him, and that freed up Derek Lewis.
Difference is 5 points. Hermanitz. Out of bounds, they say Windsor ball.
Well, 2 men fighting for the ball. Mike Sesto and Jim Molyneux. Referee says it's Lancer ball.
Hunt Hoole comes into the game for Windsor. He's number 24. And Windsor controlling now. Hogan. Back to Hoole. Hoole gets around a pick being set by Ritchie. Long shots in the corner by Hogan. Hermanitz and Heslop, 2 great ball players fighting for it. And Hogan throws it away. And we have, I think, a foul coming up here.
Well, number 44, John Ritchie will pick up that foul for the Lancers. That was a real fight to establish position between the 2 44s. Mark Scott really barreling down there at the shoulder ahead. Man moved in him, that's a foul.
And with 5 minutes and 6 seconds remaining, this is the first half of play. The score is Guelph 36 and Windsor 31. 5 minutes and 6 seconds time to go. 36-31. This first half of play. Guelph leading Windsor. And a quick look at those cheerleaders that Windsor brought along with them.
They brought along a lot of fans to this game today too, John, and they're making their presence felt. They're very vocal.
Well, that's certainly true as well of the Guelph fans. Matter of fact, on the other side, they disappear into the rafters. That's how far up they are. There's got to be a few thousand fans here, jammed to capacity. And that's great to see the people support University basketball, and you can see why they would. It's just been a great game so far.
Certainly, just outstanding play, really. Good offensive plays at both ends, excellent defensive plays at both ends, and no one's really established anything yet that the other team isn't about to take away from them.
Now Heslip waits for his man to clear, puts it up, came up short. Molyneux with a rebound. Molyneux backs into Heslip. Hogan has him. Hogan going between a couple of men, passes it off. And a foul called on Sesto.
Well, once again, that's the speed that the Lancers bring the ball up the floor. Not always easy to defend against. Sesto just moving around, trying to get in good defensive position, banged into a man. He picks up a foul, and they're now in the bonus situation. So 44, John Ritchie will go to the line.
Sesto, Scott, Smith, and Dundas have each picked up 2 fouls so far for Guelph, and those are the 8 fouls they picked up so far in this first half between those 4 players. 36-32, difference 4. Make it 3. 4 minutes 45. Time to go first half. Heslip brings it up. Heslip tries to feed it up off Ritchie's foot. Peter Smith comes in, replaces Rick Dundas. Smith, 6'8", replaces Dundas. 6'6", Dundas from Peterborough. Smith, Oakville.
Different defense now on the part of the Lancers. They've gone into a zone now, 1-2-2 zone.
Now Sesto. Long pass over to Derek Lewis. Puts it inside. That's Smith. Foul call, Molyneux.
That's right. Nice play on the part of Smith. He really had 2 men that were close to him. He just brought his arms around low, moved him up to the basket, picked up the foul on Molyneux.
One of the concerns, of course, is Guelph's bench, feeling that people feel it's not as strong, possibly, as Windsor's. But one thing we've seen in previous games with Guelph is that, as Smith hits on that one, is that guys like Heslip will play the entire game. They don't sit down for a second.
No, it doesn't seem to bother them at all either. Great stamina, endurance is there, in tremendous shape, as they should be at this season, at this point of the season, really. Now press on the part of the Griffins, almost a steal.
Sesto almost grabbed that. 38-33, Korosek putting it up, can't get it down. And foul call on Ritchie.
Well, great plays. You see them really hustling. Once they broke that press, the Lancers had an outnumbering situation, and the Griffins had to hustle for defense. Lancers weren't about to give up the advantage. They got a little too aggressive, and Ritchie picks up the foul.
Just wiping up a little bit of sweat there, trying to do it with their shoes instead of trying to do it with a towel. But obviously it works. Derek Lewis now gets it up. Scott driving in, hits Ritchie, hits underneath the basket. Sesto.
Well, that's being able to capitalize on adversity, really, because they had nothing going for him. Sesto was lucky to get the ball. When he got it, he made no mistake about it, put it in.
Now Hogan. Passes over to Hunhool. Over to the corner, they say, turn it over.
Sesto caused that one. He got a piece of the ball. Went off his hand, off Ritchie's hand, out of bounds. Good hustle on the part of Sesto.
Hunhool and Molyneux lead. Herman's come back in along with Kennedy for Windsor. Heslip outside now to Sesto. 3:30, time to go. 40-33 score. 7 points the difference. Now Heslip trying to drive around Hogan. Passes it over to Smith. Smith now feeds over to Heslip, who's all over the court.
Well, that's right. He came from the far side, got rid of the ball underneath. Smith moved it to the outside, and Heslip came around him, got that shot away.
Tom Heslip looks like such a fragile basketball player, but boy, is he effective.
Well, the Griffins thought they were called for a foul on that. There was a bunch of arms ready to go up. Nick Grabowski thought there should have been a foul on it. That was the alley-oop pass from outside. Hermanitz to Korosek.
42-33, 3 minutes exactly time to go. Ritchie moving in towards the basket. Blocked away by Derek Lewis. Foul called on him.
You knew he was going to pick up something on that excursion because he started outside and just challenged the defenders. Went in there. Lewis had to foul.
Well, Lewis has made himself a couple of great plays so far, so that's only his first. Considering that fact, he's had himself a pretty good half so far.
He sure has. He's been outstanding defensively and scored 10 points at the other end of the floor.
Ritchie, 6'4", from Windsor, puts that one in. Narrows the count a little bit. So far, we've got a good look at Guelph's speed, giving them now what comes to a 7-point lead, 42-35. And Haslip gets it over to Smith, to Lewis. This fellow's pretty hot.
He sure is. You called it exactly, John. He bombed it in from outside. Mark Scott.
44-35, a 9-point difference, 2:39 time to go. Hermanitz to Hogan. Hogan gets over to Hermanitz. Back to Hogan. Inside to go to Stan Korosuk. Flips around with it. Stan's missed a couple of those now. Lewis comes up with the rebound. Up to Sesto. Look how fast they move it down the floor. Throw it away, however.
Too bad. That was quite a speedy play. It just got away from him a slight bit there in the trip down the floor, but they almost had a good fast break. Sesto a little out of control there at the end of the excursion down the floor.
2:17. Hermanitz has it here. That's the time remaining, and this is the first half of play, and what a first half it's been so far. Guelph leading it by 9, but I'll tell you, Windsor's not been that far out of it. They've just missed a couple of easy layups, but this time Korosuk, no mistake.
Well, that's pretty to watch because they just moved it around. They knew he could get inside. They looped him the ball, and he got it in a good position for a shot.
44-37, they give it away. Haslip gives it away there. Kennedy, Ritchie.
Well, you knew that was going to happen. Haslip put himself in position. Coming right down top of him, John Ritchie after the shot. Haslip threw that foul, really. Good defensive play.
So we'll have a 1-and-1 here. Haslip goes down. Two players shake hands. They march down the floor. Some of the fans feeling there might be a little bit of an ill feeling between the two after that collision.
That's right. There was actually two collisions. The first one, and then out of bounds, another one took place.
Buttery comes back in, replaces Ritchie. Ritchie with 3 fouls on him so far. 1:49 is the time remaining. Haslip at the line. And he makes good on that shot. Total of 9 points so far for Haslip. Averages around 20 a game. 24.2 to be accurate. 46-37. Haslip gives his team once again a 9-point lead. Less than 2 minutes, 1:44, Korosuk. And he waited for the defenders to come back there instead of trying to get a quick shot away. Hogan has it now. Hogan being watched by Scott. Gets it over to Hermanitz. Hermanitz puts it up. And the loose ball. Scott got that rebound. Gets it over to Haslip. Haslip. Sesto lays it in.
Oh, that was not an easy shot at all. Haslip was quite close to the baseline. He had to really be good with his touch on that one.
48-37. The largest lead of the game so far for Guelph. It's 11 points. Hogan cuts it back down to 9.
Well, they'll bomb them in from anywhere on the floor. Give them the opening. You relax for a moment. These Lancers are right after you.
Just under a minute. Time to go. 55 seconds. Now Sesto. And no matter what happens, Guelph is going to go into the locker room at halftime with a comfortable lead. And Windsor's going to be thinking a little bit. Now Haslip. Haslip goes up off the backboard.
Well, that's right. I don't think the big men thought he'd shoot from in there with them all around him. They backed off just a bit. That was all Haslip needed to go up and score.
50-39. It's 11 once again. Korosuk underneath. And the basket counts.
Well, you see where his strength is so important. That's just muscle in there. Muscle to get the ball away, muscle to get it up and score. And in so doing, he forced the defender to foul.
Henry gets the foul there. Henry just checked into the game. He's number 53.
Korosuk already has 13 points in this game. That's 14.
50-42. Margin down to 8 points. And Guelph will probably go for one shot here with 22 seconds left on the clock in the first half. Now Sesto.
They'll leave one side open. Lancers almost got it from them.
Derek Lewis, 10 seconds now remaining. Heslip, down to 7 seconds to go. Heslip will put it up. And Kennedy got that loose ball. Long shot by Hermanitz. That comes up short. And the buzzer sounds to end a very good first half of play. And the score at the half is the Guelph Griffins 50. The Windsor Lancers 42. As we get set to start this second half of play, Guelph leads it by a score of 50 to 42 over Windsor. The margin 8 points. Lewis and Molyneux go up for the ball. And Guelph controls. Peter Smith dumps it off to Sesto. Sesto, number 34. Inside now to Dundas. Dundas back outside to Smith. Simply hands it off to Heslip, who's being watched here by Hogan. Here's Heslip. Goes up. Hits the rim. Molyneux with the rebound. Korosik controls it. Feeds it up. Hogan, 2-on-1. Hermanitz with him. Hogan goes up twice and then finally comes up short. Here's Molyneux. A lot of dancing for position. And Heslip comes back. 1-on-1. Korosik, the one-man back. And the rest of the Windsor Lancers back to hustle. Heslip has control of it here. Feeds it over to Lewis. Smith. Heslip. Heslip being watched by Hogan. Now Smith. He's being watched by Molyneux. Smith turns around with it. Ritchie controls it. Both teams coming out a little cold here to start this second half. We played about a minute. Hermanitz.
Well, the Lancers coming out doing, there you see the Lancers coach, Nick Grabowski, right in this game down there on the sideline. He's told his team to go back to what they do best, that fast break, twice down the floor. Once they scored first time, they weren't able to, but they're going back to the running game.
Sesto drives in. Basket counts.
Nice basket by Mike Sesto. Good drive. You had to look at Coach Kip Chapman, a little more relaxed, but sure he's churning up on the inside. Sesto made a nice drive, was fouled on the play.
Molyneux was given the foul there. And Sesto's a chance for a three-pointer. Mike Sesto, outstanding basketball player. 6'2", Port Colburn. Makes it good.
Interesting note, John, there hasn't been a missed foul shot in this game so far. Both teams shooting 100%.
53-44. Korosik all alone.
12 points from the field for Korosik, 4 from the line, 16 overall.
53-46, 18-20. Time remaining in the game. This is for the OUAA Western Division Championship. Winner to meet the York Yeomen in the OUAA Championship. Holding foul on Hermanitz.
Yes, he grabbed Peter Smith's arm as Smith was going by him. That was a nice give and go on the part of the Griffins. They had that play well set up.
So Smith will go to the line. That's a couple of shots here. So you'll see no movement on this first one.
10 points rather for Peter Smith so far.
And Peter makes it good again. 55-46, 18:08. Now Hogan, Hermanitz. Hogan drops it in there. Korosik. And I think he was disturbed enough by Lewis, but Ritchie follows up.
Well, you can see the Lancers now. They're going to try and break through that Griffin zone. That time Hogan drove, gave it off to Korosik. He got a shot, but right there to grab it was Ritchie in case Korosik missed.
Sesto. Hermanitz runs into Smith. And here's a steal. Hogan all alone. He'll just simply lay it up there.
Boy, he came out of the pack, so to speak. Nobody really saw him for the Griffins on that interception or steal.
Heslip took that one taken away from him. 55-50. Difference just 5. It was 8 when we started the second half of play. Dundas traveling.
Both teams going inside on their offensive pattern. Smith going inside for the Griffins. Dundas going inside for the Griffins. Molyneux and Korosek going inside for the Lancers.
Hogan to Molyneux, being watched by Sesto. Hogan drops it back. This is number 32, Brian Hogan. They feed it into Hermanitz. Foul called. Derek Lewis
reached around him. Hermanitz, the man that's so elusive on the dribbles. Derek Lewis tried to get a piece of him, reached around, whacked him on the arm, picks up a foul.
Ritchie to put it into play. And Windsor has a chance to cut into the margin, make it a three-point ball game if they can capitalize. Foul called underneath. Korosek called for the foul.
Yes, going for that rebound. That's his first in this game.
Peter Smith will put it in bounds. And that's could be a key play because they could narrow it down to 3. It remains at 5. And should Guelph be able to capitalize, it'll be a swing of 4 points.
That's right. That's why possession is so important, because it can result in a swing of 4 points either way.
Now Smith.
He carried that ball. Big man trying to move across the top. Not probably the spot where the coach would like to see him maneuver, but picks up the turnover by bombing the ball.
So here you have that same situation. Difference of 5. Hogan into the corner, driving deep, being watched there by Lewis, who tips it away for a second. Now he passes it over to Hermanitz, being watched very closely. Throw it away. Dundas picks it up. Dundas to Sesto. Hands it off to Heslop. Heslop will put it up. Oh, that went in and around. Coming back very quickly, Hermanitz. Hermanitz. 5'11". Stops. Hands it off. Korosek, 6. And I'll tell you, Molyneux followed nicely, 6'6".
Beautiful play. Hermanitz to Korosek to Molyneux on the follow for the basket. Now it is narrowed to 3.
So Windsor came out trailing by 8. Fought our part of this game, 15-47. So we've got almost 60 minutes time to play. Tommy Heslop. He's twisting and turning, getting away from a couple of players. Hermanitz called for a foul. Heslop goes to the line.
Picks up number 3 on Bill Hermanitz. Not in the bonus situation. You see referee Murray Mulligan, one of the referees from the OUAA, who will be refereeing in the Canadian University Championships in March.
Oh, Heslop, no mistake there. 57-52, the difference 5. Hogan, Molyneux, back to Hogan. Hogan gets around Heslop, dumps it inside. Nice play, Korosek.
Well, they move it around so nicely. It's a treat to watch. Hogan moved inside, just swung his arm, put the ball in and around to Korosek, who turned and hooked it in.
57-54, Heslop.
Well, that's the way to get him back in a hurry.
Molyneux getting away from Heslop. Dumps it inside. Korosek, big man underneath. He almost took Peter Smith's jaw off. And Korosek keeps it in, but throws it out.
Well, he's kind of discouraged down there. He came so close to scoring. And in so doing, as you mentioned, Johnny almost took the head of Peter Smith right off his shoulders.
Hunt Hool is coming to the game. Hunt, number 24, replaces Hermanitz. For the Windsor Lancers, Heslop. They left him open for a second. Gets it back to Dundas. His big man goes in there.
Well, he challenged them. Heslop went inside. They fell off on him. He spotted Dundas at the foul line. Dundas didn't hesitate. He took off down the middle and scored.
Hogan to Hunt. Hunt Hool. Back to Hool. Hogan again, 61-54, 14-15. Hogan going through underneath Ritchie.
Well, they move it around. Once again, Hogan, the driving force out there, penetrates the zone, gives it off to the big man.
Now Heslop. Hogan staying very close to Heslop there. Goes off a foot. And Hunt Hool feeds it up. Hogan lets Sesto go by him.
Nice play on the part of Hogan. Just prior to that, I heard the coach say, watch the middle. Lancers clogged up the middle, came up with the steal.
61-58. The difference 3. Sesto, both of these teams going up and down. I'll tell you, they're exerting a lot of effort in this game. But this one's for the championship. Sesto called for a foul.
Well, he was fighting with number 24, the man that just came into the game for the Lancers, Houle. Houle came up with the ball. Sesto, and trying to get a piece of it, grabbed the arm and picks up the foul.
His third of the game. And Hogan brings it up with a chance now to narrow it down to just a 1-point ball game. Ritchie flips it up there. The loose ball. Sesto grabs the rebound. Gets it up now to Heslop, who calls the play. Sticks his hand up. Calling play 41, whatever that is in their book. I'm sure the end result's the same. Let's get 2 points. Derek Lewis. And this time it was Houle who went up and got it. Houle to Hogan. 12:47 time remaining. 61-58 the score. The Guelph Griffins leading. Derek Lewis watching his man on the play there. Hogan has it. He's being watched here by Heslop. Hogan going right around a couple of players. And now Corsa.
Well, he followed, got his own rebound, put it back up. His body's flying in there. Part of it's because of a collision. Part of it's because of the wind as the players go by. Part of it's because they're acting out there trying to draw a foul.
So the difference is 1 point, 61-60. And Gib Chapman on the Guelph bench has to be concerned. Wouldn't surprise me if the lead changes hands here. If things begin to go the opposite way, then he'll call a timeout to try to get things organized a little bit.
Well, Hogan caused that foul, or rather that turnover, because he was guarding Tommy Heslop. He moved in on him, forced the errant pass by Derek Lewis, and Lancers take over with a chance to take over this lead.
Buttery comes in to replace Hogan. Now they pass it into the corner. On Houle. Going up the rebound. Corsa knocked away. Great defensive play, and they just blew it there by missing the pass.
Yeah, that's really the swing of the action, really. A beautiful play at one end. There you see Coach Nick Grabowski of the Lancers directing his talent around on the floor. That's the swing of the action. They made a beautiful defensive play, and then in their hurry to get it down in the fast break, threw the ball away.
Well, there's both teams showing some great defensive play here. And there, another superb play as they keep it in bounds.
Beautiful play on the part of the Griffins. Second time in a row they've come up with an excellent defensive play.
This time a foul called on Brian Buttery.
He moved in with the chest. There you see him, number 34, Brian Buttery, trying to guard Tom Heslop. Heslop with the dribble, going by, and Buttery moved in with his chest and fouled Heslop.
And the fans have got their rhythmic applause going. This place is just electricity right now.
That's his second one. I'm sure Coach Nick Grabowski will get a substitute in there because Brian Buttery seems to be having trouble guarding that elusive man, Tom Heslop. There you see his totals. Field goals, 127 of them. Foul throws, 36 for 290 points.
Dundas to Heslop. Dundas set that pick there, giving Heslop an open shot.
Oh, that was a tough one. Dundas made a nice play on it. He really had his hand on the ball, and that's why he's talking to the referee as he heads down the floor.
So the difference remains just 1 point. 11-10. Time remaining. Houle in there, almost intercepted. Taken away was Mark Scott, who had a great first half.
Lancers resting their starting talent out there, some of them now. Able to hold this margin down here and give the boys a rest.
Ritchie, Sesto grabs a loose ball.
I believe number 44, John Ritchie, may have picked that one up. I believe that puts him over the limit now. That's 4 on John Ritchie, and it does put them in the bonus situation, so Griffins will come down, and with over 10 minutes, almost 11 minutes remaining, that's an early time to be in the bonus situation.
Sesto goes to the line.
No missed free throws in this game.
Let's not put a hex on him.
You're right. I guess we better not mention that too often, because in a championship game like this, it's so very important, and there's going to be a lot of trips to the foul line as we wind down in this game.
Well, he's still perfect. 63-60. And Guelph has a little breathing room again. A difference of 3. 10:50 time remaining in this ball game. They knock it out of bounds. Windsor ball. So with 10:46 time remaining in this game, the score is Guelph 63 and Windsor 60. 10:41 time remaining. And there you have a look at Brian Butteridge, the Windsor Lancers, who trail this game by a score of 60-63. Trying to put it in there. The difference 3 points. Molyneux for Windsor. Gets it over to Buttry. Buttry puts it up. The rebound grabbed by Sesto. So Guelph's 3-point lead remains intact as they come back down court. 10:20 time remaining. Tom Heslop feeds it over now. Scott puts it up. And he had a hot hand in the first half. Molyneux, number 52, Hogan, wide angle. And he just threw it a little too hard.
Well, that foul occurred when Dundas hustled in there to get position. See, he doesn't believe it. He's smiling at the referee as he goes past him, doesn't believe that was his foul, and that's number 4.
Well, they didn't call it on him. They called it on Lewis instead. That's Lewis's third. But nonetheless, a team foul anyway, and they've got to watch foul trouble now. Hermanitz feeds it over. Molyneux back to Hermanitz. Tries to put it in off the backboard. The ball is loose. Buttry's there.
Oh, they got a break. Molyneux and Korosek got tangled up, but the ball went to Buttry, and he scored.
63-62, 9:38 time remaining. Heslop. Scott Dundas. Dundas making a pass inside. Gets it over to Derek Lewis. Now they feed it over. That shot by Scott came up short. He's a little upset with himself. Foul.
Well, they returned the favor that time. Heslop got himself in position. Hogan couldn't do anything as he was trying to turn around, go down the floor. There's an act that comes into the plays like that, but that's good, smart basketball. Heslop drew the foul, gives the ball back to the Griffins.
And of course, in a case like that, you've got to be willing to take some punishment to take an offensive
Definitely
foul.
so.
Inside they go. Korosek.
Well, Stan Korosek, contesting that pass into Rick Dundas, picks up the foul.
Ritchie is the one-man big foul trouble right now for Windsor. He has 4. That's Korosek's second. So he's still okay as far as that's concerned. Dundas goes to the line. Dundas 6'6", Peterborough. And there's our first miss of the game from the free throw line. Now Molyneux brings it back quickly. Feeds it up to Korosek. Sesto back to the bench.
Well, that's going to be a turnaround now. It's going over to the Griffins. That was good hustle on the part of the Griffins because Korosek almost had a clear-cut break, but the Griffins got back to get a piece of it. Then it went off Korosek's hand out of bounds.
Windsor players disputing their call a little bit, feeling it was Sesto's hand. Nonetheless, ball right now deep in Windsor territory. Heslop gets it over to Lewis, over to Dundas. 63-62, under 9 minutes to go. Now Heslop sets. He puts it in.
Well, he made a nice play. They set that one up for him. Everybody cleared out, hustling inside. He had a good shot, high percentage area inside the key.
Heslop with 18 points, 65-62, 8:36. And the fans begin the chant of defense, defense. Hermanitz to Korosek.
Well, they played that one so often this season and so often this game. The outside man beats his man, then bounce passer, gets it inside to the big man underneath.
65-64. This one's going to go right down to the wire. Mark my words.
Sesto hits from outside, establishes that three-point margin once again.
67-64. 8 minutes remaining. Yeah, now Hogan. Hogan gets it over to Hermanitz. Back to Hogan. Hogan driving right up the alley. Goes off Smith's leg. There's Korosek. Knocked away. Foul call on Smith.
Smith blocked the shot all right, but in so doing, he must have caught a piece of Korosek's body with his body and picks up a foul. And on Peter Smith, that's foul number 3.
Korosek goes to the line. Korosek gets a couple here.
22 points already for Stan Korosek. 23.
Korosek's been at the line
6 times now.
6 times, and he's made good on them all. 67, 66, back to 1. Both coaches are really eyeing this game. Nick Grabowski virtually on his knees, and every time he does, almost pray a little when he goes over there.
Well, Korosek tried to get in front of Sesto to make him stop, but Sesto was not stopping at all. Korosek stuck out his chest and picked up his 3rd foul.
There's a look at Sesto. As mentioned earlier, I think between Mike Sesto and Tom Heslop, they probably have the 2 fastest breaking players on any team. They can run down, and their passing when they get down there is incredible.
Sesto good on his 4th foul shot. Now attempt to make it 5 in a row. If he does, that'll give him 15 for this game.
Lead is 2, lead is 3. Hogan brings it back for Windsor. Hogan feeds it over to Hermanitz. Back to Hogan. Hands it off. Buttry. Back to Hogan. They feed it over. Hermanitz has it. Derek Lewis goes flying. Heslop. Foul called on Buttry.
Yes, Brian Buttry picks up number 3 for him. He'll come down the floor now. That's when the ball was on the way out of bounds. Heslop hustling for that ball. Got in front of Buttry. Buttry fouled him.
I tell you, Heslop takes quite a pounding down there. Last half we saw him rolled over a few times, and we've seen him bowled over once here and virtually pushed into the crowd that time. So he's been taking quite a punishment.
He sure has been. He's been on both ends, offensive, defensive ends, takes quite a pounding. And it's got to be wearing on a fellow his size when the big men start to lean on him, but it doesn't seem to affect his play.
Heslop now with 19 points, going for number 20. 71-66. Guelph lead back up to 5, and they've got to be feeling a little more comfortable. There have been quite a few occasions in the second half when that margin was cut down to 1, but they've managed to hold on to the lead nonetheless. Long pass over. Ritchie having a little difficulty finding an open man, gets it over to Hogan. Under 7 minutes, time to go. Hogan driving in, runs into Dundas, runs into the biggest man on the court, I think.
That's right. The small man for Windsor hitting the big man for Guelph was quite a collision. The ball went out of bounds. The referees call it Windsor ball, and Tom Heslop asking them for a little clarification on that particular call.
This will be Ritchie who will put it into play. He has 4 fouls on him, the one player so far that does.
Well, that shows you Korosek's able to score from the outside, and those jump shots just as easily as from underneath the basket.
71-68. Back down to 3. Now Peter Smith. Smith loops it up there.
Well, that's the way they diagram it for you in all the textbooks on basketball. Take one way, go the other, hook it over your opponent and score.
Hogan to Molyneux. Molyneux goes up with it.
Oh, my, that's a beautiful shot when you take them from out there. Your big men moving outside, we mentioned, are able to score from out there.
73-70. Molyneux doing a good job, especially also when you consider Derek Lewis is right there to try and block it. Lewis has great jumping ability. Now Heslop from the outside. And a couple of players there from Windsor to grab it. Players from Windsor running all over their Guelph counterparts. Heslop is down. And that's the reason for the oohs and ahs from the fans. Molyneux, foul called.
Well, Peter Smith picks up that foul. A lot of fans here, of course, their hometown fans supporting University of Guelph, feel that Jim Molyneux should have been called for charging when he moved into Peter Smith instead of Peter Smith being called for blocking. That's one of those fouls. Any official will tell you that's the tough one to call. Is it charging? Is it blocking? That time was called blocking.
Fans talking about the cow pastures right now. 5:42 time remaining. 73-70. The difference 3. And here we go back to Hogan. Hogan with control of it. Dumps it inside. Here we go. Hermanitz.
It's from the outside. They're big men. Starting to get hot here in the second half.
And I'll tell you, the tension's really getting here. The two teams have got to be feeling it now. And you can bet the plays will be a little more deliberate now as a result. We march down to the 5-minute mark. And the difference of just 1 point. 73-72. Dundas to Sesto. Sesto moves in. Passes off to Heslop, who puts it up. Underneath, Dundas controls it. Misses it. Who has it? Korosek is there. We might have a jump ball.
Yes, good hustle on the part of the Griffins, tying up Korosek underneath there. Derek Lewis and Rick Dundas right in there. Those are not easy shots to make when you got those defenders all around you.
So Lewis and Korosek will go to the line. There's a good look at Derek Lewis, who's been responsible for some great defensive plays here in this game.
Just excellent. He's blocked some shots, really, and he's come from so far away to do it. It's just a tremendous effort on his part.
And we've got things cleaned up a little bit. Korosek should have an advantage here, but mentioned Lewis has great jumping ability. They try to feed it in. It goes off Dundas.
Boy, that's a tough call. You have to hand it to the referee because he had to hustle from his position on the foul line to get around there to catch a glimpse of that one.
So we're under 5 minutes. And here now a chance for Windsor to go in front. Windsor came into this half, as mentioned earlier, trailing by 8 points. They've narrowed it down to 1. And another great defensive play. Hermanitz is there. No go.
Well, tremendous play on the part of Peter Smith. Took away a sure basket from Molyneux.
Heslop calls plays. Feeds it over to Sesto. Sesto puts it up.
Oh, beautiful play. Sesto had the option of hitting Heslop underneath, and to come around, he took it himself from out top and scored.
And when he ran back, he looked at that clock, saw his team was up by 3, 75-72. Molyneux drops it over now to Ritchie. Ritchie, being watched by Smith, gets it over to Hogan. Hogan puts it up. The rebound, still loose. Korosek there.
Well, he won't make many mistakes from that area of the floor.
Korosek piling up the points here so far, 75-74. Korosek with 28 points so far. Now Heslop. He's using Peter Smith as a decoy. Heslop goes up.
Oh, pretty. He set that up. Just maneuvered him like chessmen on a board till he got the opening and drove and scored.
3:23 time to go. 74-77 with Guelph in front by 3. Hogan, Molyneux. Back to Hogan again. Long pass from the corner to Ritchie. Ritchie will put it up. Goes over top. Sesto with a rebound. Wide open. Heslop. Racing back is Ritchie.
Novak traveled on the play. He heard the footsteps, and it was a tribute to John Ritchie because Ritchie came from a long way away to get into that play, and he disturbed Heslop enough to throw him off his shot.
With 2:57 left to go in the game, the score is the Guelph Griffins 77, the Windsor Lancers 74. The Guelph Griffins as they come back on court. 2:57 time remaining. The Griffins are up by a score of 77-74 against the Windsor Lancers in this OUAA Western Division Championship game. And what a game it has been. A good look at the fans here. A standing room only crowd. They settled down a little bit. Windsor will put the ball into play. John Ritchie, who just before we went away made a great defensive play. And it's probably even greater when you consider he had 4 fouls on him already, knowing that if he was called for a foul, he was gone. Now Hogan. Hermanitz. Back to Hogan. Hogan puts it up. The rebound. Grabbed by Korosek. Korosek still loose. Jump.
Well, I believe there was a foul call on that play. It may have gone against number 44, John Ritchie. As you mentioned, John, if it is, that's number 5, and he'll be out of the game. And that's who it is. John Ritchie now leads the game with 5 fouls. Scored 10 points in this game. Now, Windsor has an opportunity to make a substitution, so they'll take their time, think things out, give their players a last-minute rest here, just under 3 minutes remaining. Would appear number 34, Brian Buckley's coming in to replace Jim Ritchie. There you see the man at the foul line, Derek Lewis, who was fouled and going for that rebound.
This is the first time he's been at the line today.
Well, he continues the excellent shooting that's taken place on the part of both of these teams. Only one foul throw in this whole game has been missed.
78-74. The difference is 4. Hermanitz brings it back. 2:35. Time to go. Windsor, lots of time left to do some damage. Gets it over to Hogan. Hogan, being watched by Sesto, feeds it now over to Hermanitz, who's pretty good from that corner. Hogan has it, moves in. Great play, Lewis. They might call him.
Well, that's the small man against the big man, but Hogan didn't hesitate at all. He knew he was going to get something out of it. Basket or a foul, and he went right up there. Derek Lewis came over top of him, picked up number 4 for him.
Hogan, the smallest man in the game at 5'9", not intimidated at all. Some of the fans trying to unnerve him, I think, a little bit with some hissing as they really start to cheer.
It pays off when you're shooting for a CIAU championship berth. The fans can play a part in the game. You better believe they're going to play a part in the game.
78-75, difference 3. 2:19. Hessler brings it down. Feeds it now over to Sesto. Sesto drops it inside. Dundas is there. The rebound, grabbed by Molyneux, who shook that ball with excitement to see if there's anything in it. Now Hogan has it. Hogan trying to set things up, and as mentioned, being very deliberate now. Hermanitz. Hogan right there to get the rebound. Passes it over. Korosek.
Well, they don't want to give it to that big man, Stan Korosek, underneath. It's tremendous under there.
And we're back down to a one-point game again. 78-77, 1:35 time to go. What a game this has been. Sesto puts it up. The rebound, grabbed by Korosek. Gets it over to Hogan. Nick Grabowski down on his knees at the Windsor bench.
You think this isn't hard on the coaches?
His team with a chance to go in front. For the first time in this second half, right here. We're approaching 1 minute remaining in the ball game. 1:05. Hogan has it now. Down to 5 seconds on the shot clock. They got to get it away fast. Korosek. And Lewis has a rebound. Molyneux called for a foul.
Well, Derek Lewis continues to impress the way he can go after those rebounds. Windsor coach Nick Grabowski looking on. Derek Lewis, just a tremendous power strength underneath there.
And I think the teams are going to...
Windsor want to talk things over, John. Going to make a last rush. 55 seconds remaining in this championship game. In past years, both of these teams might have had a shot at the CIAU championships. One is a league champion, the division champion in this league. The other is a wild card, but it's going to be hard to take 3 teams from the West Division of the OUAA. So I'd say the losers probably playing their last game of this season.
There's a look at the Guelph marching band. We had a quick look at them there. There they are. 2 of them came down. There's a few more up in the stands. And they're trying to outduel the Guelph cheerleaders, or rather the Windsor cheerleaders who are here. And I'll tell you, that's quite a scene. Also here we might add the York Yeomen, a couple of their players, Dave Coulthard, Paul Jones here to take a look at this game. They're in the crowd. There's a look at Paul there, right near the right side of the screen. You have a quick look at him. As York has an advantage. They get a chance to look at who they're going to play.
That's very important to see how they react under pressure, to see what one team can do to the other, see things that are working. It is quite an advantage. The coaches love to have that opportunity. It helps build the psychological pitch for the game as well.
Lewis goes up, and that's a key miss at this stage. Molyneux has it. And as far as Guelph is concerned, they're going to press a little bit, try and force things. Hermanitz manages to break the press. Hogan telling Hermanitz to get deep. Down to 41 seconds. Now Hogan has it. They feed it over. Hogan with it again. Gib Chapman's taking his coat off. Stan Korosuk. Loose ball. Sesto has it. Sesto brings it back. Foul call.
Korosuk picked up that foul after his shot. That's number 4 on Korosuk. That's a gamble because there's only 27 seconds remaining in the game. That means Guelph could run it out. So Lancers had to foul. They're banking that whoever goes to the foul line will not take full shots, and they're hoping he misses the first one. Lancers take another timeout. They want to get their strategy down here with 27 minutes remaining. As you see your score, a 1-point margin for the home University of Guelph Griffins.
Well, I'll tell you, I've got sweat in the palm of my hands, and I have no allegiance to either school, so I imagine how some of the people who are cheering on the Guelph Griffins and the Windsor Lancers might feel.
Well, I feel sorry for the losers, John, because in a game like this, they're so very close, so evenly matched. Both sides have played so very well. I hate to see a losing team, but that's what sports is all about. You play to win, and there's going to be a winner declared here, and that winner is going to be a very happy entrant into the CIAU National Championship.
We're down to 27 seconds. The difference is just 1 point. 78-77. These fans here, I'll tell you, they're noisy. They have good reason to be.
They sure have, and you better believe they're not going to be quiet in this last 27 seconds, except maybe as their team, the home team favorite, Mike Cecil, goes to the foul line for this foul throw. You better believe there'll be quite a cheer if he sinks this first one, and an even greater one if he sinks the next one.
Sesto's been perfect so far. Korosuk takes it. They may just try for, I'm sure they probably will, for that one shot, try and wrap it up. Now Hogan has it. Fans all standing at this side. Many other side beginning to stand as well. Korosuk. Oh! 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. There's a shot. It's in Windsor.
Well,
the Windsor Lancers have won it.
Well, there'll be a question over at the scorer's bench to see whether, yes, Nick Grabowski gets the okay from the referee. The game is over. The ball was in the air as the buzzer went. It went in. It counts. For the first time in this second half, Lancers took the lead, and it means a championship and a trip to the CIAU National Final.
What a way to wrap it up. The Windsor Lancers finally take the lead as the clock ran down to 0. Take the lead for the first time in the second half. They get the championship as mentioned. Boy, what a game. The final score, the Windsor Lancers 79 and the Guelph Griffins 78. As you take a look at some of the players hugging each other, they're cutting down the nets down at the far end. Jim Molyneux's underneath the net. You see him there, number 52. They're cutting it down. As is traditional in basketball, you take home that victorious net. And as far as the Guelph Griffins are concerned, disappointment by just extreme terms. I mean, here they were, just a second away from winning this division championship. And what a game this was.
Got to be a disappointment. They're so close. They played so well. As I mentioned just a few seconds ago, you hate to see a loser, especially with a tremendous season the way the Griffins have had this year. To go out 1 point, really, after the game was over, no chance for a comeback, a tough way to lose. Just the agony of defeat is there on the faces of the Griffins, but there you see the ecstasy of victory on the Lancers.
We'll be back with a closing wrap on this game in just a moment. Well, it's tough to find words to describe a finish like that as Windsor wins it as the clock runs down, and they now meet York Yeoman in the OUAA championship game, and quite a finish.
Oh, yes, a spectacular finish when you see the game change from one team to the other after time has expired. There's no other thrill, really, that can compare with it in basketball. And tremendous comeback by the Lancers, and it's got to be terribly disappointing for the Griffins, but the Lancers will represent the OUAA very well in the Canadian Championships.
Well, congratulations to Windsor for winning. John Henner for Paul Condon. Have yourselves a very pleasant good afternoon.